What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 9 on my road to 2,100 pounds and my continuation on my road to 700 pounds. This week is first week off of a deload. So this week I've got a couple of exciting lifts, some PRs. Let's see, we've got bench press paused today. All reps paused in training for meet prep. And this is 640 for today, and this is my last warm-up of 615. See how this feels. Not too bad. One thing I did notice in my warm-ups is that my CNS is not quite primed for heavier weight just yet, which is not a big deal. Typically, when I come off of a deload, my CNS is just not quite ready, at least for bench. It takes me a couple days for the CNS to kind of lift some heavy stuff to get back into the to the groove. And actually, this is the heaviest I've been this training cycle. This is 640. Let's see how this looks.
Yep. Get up. Yes, sir.
Not too bad. I would have liked it to be a little faster than that. This is going to be an overhead shot of it. I'm doing this just to make sure that I'm hitting in the same spot every time. I've been noticing I do have a fast descent, but I do want to make sure that I'm hitting on my chest in the prime spot. Don't trust the place bar here. That's just design on the shirt. But by the way, if you want to get one of those, bencholly.com, make those, my wife and I. So back to deload, I went down to about 455 for some reps, and this is the heaviest by far in the last 9 weeks of training. So it does look a little sluggish, but this is going to be right about my opener for the meet. So don't worry, this will actually look a lot better in the next few weeks as my CNS gets a little bit primed. In fact, you'll see later in this week I've got a PR on deadlift on tap, and CNS felt amazing. This voiceover is actually done on Saturday night. Bench day here that you're looking at now is on Monday. Did some slingshot work. I did 585, actually backed it down just to get used to the slingshot. Next one is 605. Takes a little bit of rep work just to get used to the slingshot, even if you've done heavier just prior to this raw. And so this is 630, and you'll notice actually I have a little bit of a mishap. The slingshot slid up on my wrist there, partly due to the slippery nature of the elbow sleeves, but honestly just the placement of it. So I put a little chalk on my elbow sleeves just to make sure those were going to stay on, and went ahead and took the 630 again. I urge you that if you're working with slingshot, or really any bench, and it's close to or pretty heavy to your max, do it with safety spotters, or at least in a rack where you have the ability to bail on it if you need to, where the bar will hit the safety pins and not your neck. That's why you see me able to come out from this unscathed. So finish that out at 630 with the slingshot. I haven't actually been responding to my overloads the way I would have liked, but that's no problem. It just means that I'm having to work some other angles, and so instead of going up into the 680s or 690s or even 700s with slingshot, I am opting to actually get a full range of motion or resistance through the whole range of motion with some band work. So we're actually starting off here with 405, and this is doubled over green Rogue bands, which is about 66 pounds of resistance at the bottom, increasing to about 132 at the very top. This is my second set. These are sets of 2, and this is 430. These actually felt really, really good. I haven't done these in a while. I really did enjoy these. This last one here is 455, set of 2, right at 600 pounds or so at the top of the lift. I actually really enjoy the resistance throughout the full band, full range of motion.
I like those a lot.
as you can tell. All right, moving on. I've got the pause floor flies. These are 55 pounds, 2 sets of 15. Pecs are pretty worked at this point. This just finishes them out. Obviously, being close grip bencher, I want to make sure that I'm working the pecs thoroughly. These do play a vital role in pressing. So kind of going back, obviously I'm happy that I finished my sets, or my main sets for today. So my mental stage, or mental game, I guess, if you will, is pretty confident at this point. Like I said, I went into today wanting that 640 to move a lot faster than it did. But like I said, coming off of a deload, it does take a little bit of time. I mean, literally, it's been 2 weeks since I've hit anything in the range of 615 or more, or 610 or more. Actually, my last day at 610 for 2 was 2 weeks ago, prior to this bench day. So it does take me about a week or so to prime everything up, but look forward to next week, bench being upwards of 650 or more, possibly even 660. We'll see what Josh Bryant and I want to put on here. But moving closer to the meet, obviously, 3 weeks out, we're going to be going up pretty quick with the weight on bench. Squat and deadlift numbers are right at what they need to be on meet day. So that just leaves the attention to bring those bench numbers up to par. Perfectly set schedule. So moving on here, these are standing cable one arm rows. And this is really working on getting the squeeze and staying tight. Just hitting the back just a little bit different than you've been seeing lately. This is basically going for RPEs. The RPEs, target RPE is 7s and 8s, and so I did 4 sets of 8 here with basically 130 pounds or so. Really working the weight, really working on the mind-muscle connection. About this time, my back is pretty fried, so I'm really just working on finishing it out, working on getting that full range. One of many exercises, obviously, that I do for back in a week. And so this typical workout for bench is about 3.5 to 4 hours. Most of the time is spent resting between sets, hydrating, recovering, to really focus on 100% effort on each set. I am not looking to bang myself up and beat myself up on purpose. Every single rep, every single set has a purpose in the greater scheme of things. I am not looking to get better at the accessory work, or basically moving the weight more efficiently. I am looking only to make my muscles get stronger in order to perform a better, bigger bench for bench day. So all of these sets are geared 100% for the meet on June 2nd and nothing else. So this is tricep rope. Started with 160 for a set of 12. Next set was 195 pounds for a set of 10. Really squeezing at the bottom, contracting that tricep. And last set is 215 pounds for a set of 8. Really getting that tight squeeze at the bottom, working that tricep head. So weight is sitting at about 289 to 290. Depends. I went up a little bit on deload week, mostly because I'm eating the same, but working out less volume, less calories burned. So weight went up about 4 pounds. Sweating it off pretty much. It's down very quickly this week. So moving on here. Today is day 2, and I've actually going to be alternating my squats and heavy deadlifts. So 1 week will be super heavy squats, and the next week will be super heavy deadlifts, and vice versa. Today's set called for 600 for a set of 2, Going into this, I actually didn't know how I was going to feel. You know, 600 is actually still my meet PR, believe it or not. And hitting 685 the week prior to the deload, this should move pretty quick. And it did. Really getting a lot of bar whip there. Felt like I was going to fly away. Just holding on tight and keeping legs steady. I don't want to misgroove that or anything and have that get out of the groove and hurt myself. So that was the heaviest I'm going to go on this day. And working back down, doing some speed squats, 2 sets of 2 with 480. Felt very, very light. Damn near came off my back. Controlled the second one a little bit better. So this actually, my squat workout typically takes about 2 hours, and most of my workouts take about 2 hours. This particular day, I was in and out of the gym in 45 minutes, mostly due to just the fact that didn't have a lot of volume on squat day, due to the fact that it's lighter than it will be next week. Moving on here, these are Olympic squats. Pausing each one, 390 pounds, 2 sets of 3. Really working on the quads, ankle mobility, moving that weight with intent always. So back to the 600 by 2, that was just ridiculously easy. Build a lot of confidence going into 700-pound squat here in the next few weeks. May even see one here next week in training. So we've got overhead deadlift holds. We're working on grip strength, 390 pounds, 2 sets and 15 seconds each set. So really working on just holding and building the calluses up, building that grip strength. And last thing on the agenda for today is hip abductions. This is the whole stack at this particular gym. It's 250 pounds for 2 sets of 20. Very, very easy. Like I said, in and out of the gym today in just over 45 minutes. So that worked out quite well with the schedule. My focus is not just getting the weight moved and completed and the sets completed, but getting home quickly and getting rested and recovered and fed so that I can grow and make the muscles recover quicker and get ready for the next workout. All right, moving on to day 3 here. Pretty standard, pretty light shoulder day. This is just a maintenance day. I used to do bench twice a week. This day is pretty much taken over the second bench day. I've got front raise, lateral raise, and bent over fly. This is a giant set, so I'm doing all 3 of these back to back to back. This is 25-pound dumbbells. Each set in the giant set is 10 reps, doing this twice. This really, really works on getting a good, solid burn in the shoulders, in the delts. Keeps those delts extremely healthy. Don't have any shoulder problems whatsoever. I do warm up before this with bands, same way I warm up for bench. I do go through like 10-pound dumbbells and even 20-pound dumbbells before even working up to the 25s. These are actually pretty light. I've gone as heavy as 40s on this set before, but there's really no need at this point. The shoulders are pretty much bulletproof. I'm just keeping them maintained. I don't want necessarily bigger shoulders. I want functional shoulders. I want the shoulders to serve their role the best way that they can in bench, and they are doing just that. So there's really no need to grow them necessarily. I just want them to be healthy. Triceps, biceps, chest, on the other hand, we can definitely work on building those up size-wise. There's some leverage issues that can be accomplished doing that. And obviously the primary movers in my bench is my triceps and pecs and things like that, lats. So we definitely would like to grow those. So moving on here, this is standing one arm rear delt cable flies. And got a comment last week about the angle, so I moved the camera slightly so you can see that the elbow doesn't bend too terribly much, making sure that that delt is the focus. So just make sure that you know, as you're watching these videos, that sometimes the angle may throw you off. I don't want you to not do the form correctly, but really making sure that that delt is the main focus on this particular set. This is just 30 pounds. Doesn't take a lot of weight. This is a high rep set, so 15 reps, 3 sets, alternating sides. This is really a good kind of, I wouldn't say a warm down set. It is considerably lighter, but it really does feel good after hitting shoulders to do this. It really opens everything up, get some good blood flow in there. It's not terribly heavy, so it's not taxing on the CNS, but it definitely works that mind-muscle connection. Delts are very important in your upper body strength and your shoulder strength and shoulder health. This is just one weapon in the arsenal. And you'll see on the next set here, I've got my close grip push-ups. I actually separate these out instead of doing them all at once. I will do them through various locations of the gym after the front raises, after the one arm rear delts, and after the seat rows. So you'll see kind of different locations that I'm doing these close grip push-ups, but they are definitely helping with speed off the chest, getting some more volume in blood into the chest, the triceps, the pecs. We'll see those here in a second. But push-ups in general are a great secondary accessory for bench, especially if you're a bigger guy. Being 290 pounds, that's basically like doing, I would probably say about 225 to 250 worth of, if you were to have to get the equivalent for flat bench. Obviously I've got my feet on the ground, so I've got pivot points, so I don't have a full 290 going down on the hands there, but these are 27 reps each. And first set, actually my elbows were a little bit tight. I didn't have my elbow sleeves with me on this particular day, so I obviously had to do them without. The first set I was a little bit concerned that my elbows were not going to cooperate, just a little bit, you know, achy, but after the second, third set, there's a set of 6 total sets of these, started feeling a lot better. So I think I just needed to get them warm. Obviously doing the shoulder set doesn't work your elbows, and it doesn't warm them up. So that's why I always stress, whatever you're doing accessory wise, you always want to warm up, even if it's just body weight, maybe 5 or 10s on dumbbells before you actually move up to 20s and 30s, just enough that you're actually doing the motion with a lighter weight without, you know, just jumping straight to the main set. No matter what I've done before, I always go through a warm-up set. For example, like on the flies on bench day, even though I may have just gotten through done you know, doing 640 pounds on bench, that does not mean that my pecs are warm for flies. So instead of jumping straight to 55-pound dumbbells, I typically will go through, you know, 15s, even 30s. Maybe if that feels warm enough, the gym's warm enough, I might go straight to 55s and see how that first set feels. But I am a very, very big advocate for warming up for everything. It does add more to your workout. It does add more time, but I assure you that it will help you to prevent impingements and shoulder issues and muscle tears and strains that are very unnecessary. Warming up a muscle is extremely important, and it is often overlooked, mostly just because people are in a rush, or maybe they don't think about it. But there's a reason that I don't see a lot of injuries in my training. This is just one of the many reasons that helps that be possible. So working on the last couple sets here. Actually, I think this is the last set of push-ups. And last set for today is wide grip seated row. This is 220 pounds, 3 sets of 8. Getting a good squeeze here, full range of motion. Really good stretch at the top. This is working on the upper back, really getting a good stretch there. Get some good blood flow in there, getting everything strong. This really does help with bench. This is a great accessory for bench. So moving on, this is actually my most exciting day of the week, believe it or not. This is day 4. This was done on Saturday this week. Had some commitments with some other stuff on Friday, and opted to go ahead and do this on Saturday. This is at Iron City Gym in Houston. Went ahead and did the straight bar for my warm-up set of paused squats. 365 pounds on the bar. It's a squat bar, by the way. This is just 5 sets of 1. Really working on staying tight and exploding up. So on today's schedule, we have a 725-pound deadlift. This will be a 15-pound PR from about 4 weeks ago when I did 710. Really working on getting my hips through and driving through the ground. Trying not to stiff leg it. Had a tendency in the past for my form to break down just a little bit, the bar to get out in front of me, and I'm actually pulling the bar up versus pushing through the floor. Moving on here, I've got my superset, which is a 44-inch box jump. And this is just to work on getting that speed and that explosion in the legs to help with the deadlift. This is 5 reps here. And this is actually very, very easy. Probably could get about another 6 inches or so if I really needed to at this particular point in time. So pretty comfortable with my vertical jump capabilities, but this is not a vertical jump test. This is strictly a means of warming up and getting the CNS and the fast twitch muscle fibers to fire off, so that when I need them during that first initial push on the ground and that pull with heavy deadlifts, those muscle fibers are primed and ready to go. So the idea here is actually to step off and not come down on the knees a little bit, but it's always a little easier said than done. All right, so moving on, this is my last warm-up. This is, let's see, I got 675 here. I like to film my last warm-up just to see how everything feels, see how everything's moving, check my form. I was pretty happy with that. So there's not a lot of people in this gym. There's not a lot of, I don't have any friendly faces that I know. There's a couple big meets going on in town, so I'm pretty much having to train on my own, which is not ideal. But if I can get excited and get driven and motivate myself with nobody here, then it's only going to be that much better on meet day. And so getting here, getting in the groove. Deadlifts is a little bit different lift for me. I really got to get fired up and get it going. So 725, let's see how this moves. Really happy with my form there. Grip started slipping a little bit on my right hand, but nothing I couldn't handle. So very happy with that. That is a 15-pound PR, and I am 30 pounds shy of what I want to hit at the meet. So I am extremely confident that that will be there, and I probably will hit another heavy deadlift day, which will be a lot heavier than that. So back down set here. This is 4 sets of 2 with 525. Really working on speed, moving it. And I'm actually resetting grip here just to really work on grip, because every time I let go of that bar, the grip tends to break down a little bit. But the more I can actually work that, the better the grip will be. It was really hot in Houston today. It was definitely over 90 degrees. There's a few fans in here blowing, but this is a warehouse gym, pretty hardcore gym in the Houston area, and a lot of heat going on in here. So definitely was sweating quite a bit, lost a lot of water. So moving on, I've got 2 sets of pull-throughs here. This was RPE based, so I went ahead and did 160 pounds. On this is a 10-pound jump from my first set 2 weeks ago. And so went ahead and hit 12 reps here. Really working on driving the hips through. This really helps on the finishing that deadlift. And went ahead and just pulled the whole stack up on this one. And it's 200 pounds. 2 sets of 12, really working on humping that bar is really what I'm thinking on these sets. This helps get those glutes fired and activated. It really does help to finish those last 3 to 4 inches on a heavy deadlift. This will definitely come into play on meet day, handling 730, 740, 755. Moving on here, got few sets of 5 on Meadows rows. Got the bar set up here on a pivot point. Strap up here just to make sure I'm getting a good grip. It's a little hard to grip that the end of that bar. It's pretty slick, and it's a fat grip, obviously. So I don't want the grip to be the weak link. So this is 3 sets of 5 with 165 pounds. And about this time of the workout, it's very, very hot, and I'm anxious just to get the workout over. I'm just pretty tired. This is about 3 hours into the workout. Still excited that I hit a PR on deadlift today, so that's definitely keeping me motivated. And the funny thing is, I actually, when I was warming up today with 315, it felt really, really heavy. So I lost a little bit of motivation. 405 didn't feel like it should have been that heavy. 500, 495 didn't feel like it should be that heavy. So I really had to get an attitude adjustment, put on some good music, and just suck it up. And I ended up pulling a 15-pound PR. So just because your warm-ups don't feel good, or just because you don't feel good that particular day, or doesn't seem to be the primary gym that of your choice, or you don't have any friends there to motivate you, those are all just excuses. You really just got to know how to tap in to that inner strength. Know that you got the confidence that you need, and just sometimes you just got to do it. Obviously, I don't have time to waste. I got to meet in 3 weeks. Got work to do. These are numbers that are not, even though they are PRs, they are not max out lifts. I am not maxing out at all until meet day. These are just, I would say, max effort lifts, putting 100% into it. But I think if I really had to, I could have pulled considerably more weight today. So these are neutral grip pull downs here, lat pull downs, 220 pounds. This is actually the whole stack at this gym. Didn't get as much range of motion as I would like, just because I couldn't adjust the bench down there I'm sitting on, and I couldn't adjust how far up everything was. So I had to just work with that limited range and lean back a little bit just to get a little more stretch at the top. Ideally, I would like to get about 4 or 5 inches higher just to get a good stretch, but sometimes you just got to work with what you have. This is 3 sets of 8. Moving on here, this is working on building some killer forearms. I definitely want some tree trunks there to handle 700 plus on bench. These are reverse curls with 85 pounds on the bar. I had to kind of guess that bar was about 30 pounds or so, so I went ahead and estimated that and put on 55 pounds worth of weight. And these are 5-second negatives, 3 sets of 6. As you can see, I got a little hot, so I had to strip off a little bit. You'll have to excuse the extra body fat. I guess it's one of the benefits of gaining 30 pounds. And as you can see, the reverse curls, the hands are actually face down. So here we got 90 degrees in the gym. Just want to make sure you guys know how hot it was. Anyways, so moving on here, last couple things. These are static holds, static plate holds for the grip strength. This is 10 pounds in each hand, and 2 sets of 1 basically on each one, or in it's 20-second holds between the thumb and the pinky, and the thumb and the ring. And these by themselves are great grip strength builders. Probably one of the main reasons why I didn't slip on the grip today earlier with deadlift is because I've been doing these. And last set for the week is landmines, 70 pounds, 2 sets of 6. So that's pretty much a wrap for week 9. Looking forward to doing a heavy squat next week, heavy bench. We'll see what happens. And a couple weeks out from the meet next week. So stay tuned. I am looking to put up a pretty nice little total come meet day on June 2nd. I want to thank every single one of you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram @SwimHack. And I will see you guys next week.